is Ahmed Badruddin, co-founder and CEO of Citylitics. Thrilled to be here and tell you a little bit more about Citylitics. We've got what we believe is a very unique, unobvious, and disruptive application of external data. And what Citylitics is really focused on is building a data-driven future for public infrastructure marketplaces. So what does that mean? Let me start by telling you a little bit more about what we mean by infrastructure. Infrastructure, the way we see it, it's an economic layer. It's a foundation of global economy. It's comprised of trillion-dollar industries ranging from water, energy, public transportation, roads and highways, healthcare, waste, education, and so many more. These industries really make the foundation of our economy, the way we live. Everything relies on these industries. And every year, $5.7 trillion a year is spent on all areas of infrastructure globally. Yet, most infrastructure projects fail. I mean, can you think of a place around the world where local infrastructure meets current and future needs? There's so much opportunity here. However, the way these infrastructure industries work, they have really digitized a lot of their practices and a lot of in the marketplace. The way people hear about opportunities and intelligence on our opportunities, it still happens through in-person networks, going to events or trade shows, very localized relationships. And then the way cities make major decisions on infrastructure investments, it's usually they're waiting till there's a catastrophe or a major failure, and then they're dealing with these problems when it's much more costly rather than doing much more timely, proactive investments on infrastructure. And so to solve these challenges, what Citylitics has done is we've built the world's largest, most powerful, most precise intelligence engine on North American infrastructure. We've got the only solution to help our users understand where, when, how, and why infrastructure investments will be made. And how we do this is we aggregate data from 29,000 cities and utilities. We look at any public document that they're publishing, from council meeting minutes, budgets, capital plans, quality reports, public notices, rate documents, and whatnot. We ingest all that data, and then we take it through a series of complex data transformation steps. We're crawling it, OCRing it, classifying it, to ultimately extract high-value, precise intelligence based on our users' needs, so our customers can better understand where the opportunities are. And essentially, there's two levels at which we solve challenges for our users. One is at the very tactical level, where each user can see where their best opportunities are, but also at a macro level, because through this bottoms-up data, you can, from a strategy perspective, see where the best opportunities are, how to make strategic decisions. And we also do a lot of work in terms of integrating our intelligence into customers and existing systems like CRMs and workflows. Because the thing with data is the easier you make it for our customers to use the data and get value from it, the more powerful the effects of having and buying data. And also we spend a lot on dashboards and visuals to really help our customers get more and more insights from this data. So our customers range from manufacturers, engineering firms, construction firms, consulting firms in these infrastructure verticals. They are some of the largest businesses in infrastructure, and this has been a game changer for them in terms of the speed at which they can go to market, the precision at which they can do sales, the accuracy at which they can better understand their customers, the visibility, the market visibility that they can get that wasn't possible before, even though they're operating in these industries for many decades. And they pay a subscription fees for ongoing data and intelligence, as well as one-time fee for additional data sets that they're looking for. Now, let me share some specific use cases of how our data gets used by users. So let's say you're a business development manager, you're selling equipment or chemicals to water treatment plants, and you really want to know, of all the 29,000 cities and utilities in the US, who has the most immediate need for your specific equipment. And so what our platform enables our users to do is they can pinpoint very specific opportunities based on a number of industry filters, ranging from timing. So what stage at the life cycle of infrastructure investment do they want to get involved? Size, region, type of opportunities, and many more. And based on their filters, customers get ranked lists of their top opportunities, as well as all possible opportunities. They can flag which ones they want to action immediately. They can monitor others for updates. And all this data and then this feed of intelligence that they're constantly getting on the platform, it's getting generated from 100 million plus document pages, from over 1 million meeting minutes, 29,000 cities and utilities, 40 plus state government databases. So there's no way that a user can get that kind of data themselves without the tools and capabilities of our platform. Now, another example, let's say you're more on the VP of business development for an engineering firm that designs infrastructure for cities and utilities. Now, you're operating nationwide, but you want to know where really should you be spending your time, where the most kind of spend will be for, let's say, bridge rehabilitation in 2022. So similarly, that executive can use the platform, analyze upcoming capital spend based on a number of industry filters from project type, status, location, timing, and much more. And with that, and through these map visuals, the user can see where the hotspots are and make strategic decisions on how to pursue opportunities. And again, this data came from 50,000 plus capital improvement plans, 100 million capital project records from over 29,000 cities and utilities. So no way without the power of our platform, a user can get this kind of data. And now they can get it right away. They can get it instantly. And they're able to make such strategic decisions. Now, thirdly, on the other end of this market, let's say you're a city planner. So you're not someone selling into city, but you're actually making decisions around infrastructure. And you've been tasked to procure a new pump station. And you got some quotes ranging from $700,000 to $2 billion. So what you want to know is what other cities have recently spent on pump stations similar to your city profile, and what types of issues have they had? And so you can run a similar search. You can see recent pump station projects. You can look at size, spend, location. You can also see the top issues involved. You can see what vendors were involved in those projects. And now you have some data to basically either inform or influence your decision. And again, this data came from the same core raw data from the meeting minutes, from public documents, capital improvement documents, from 29,000 cities and utilities. But what you can see is pretty interesting is that different types of customers in this industry can use the same data in very different ways for many different use cases. And that's really comes from having a very thoughtful design around data. And so ultimately, there's a few things that's very interesting about what we've done is we're ingesting any public document that cities and utilities in the US and Canada are publishing. And what we're seeing is that the rate of data generation is accelerating. From Q2 to Q1, we saw almost a 4 times increase in terms of data available. So we now have the largest, the fastest growing data warehouse on local infrastructure needs, issues, and plans across North America, tracking over $600 billion in project opportunities and counting. Because as more and more data gets published, as more opportunities surface, our system captures it and then organizes and structures it in a way that our users can benefit from. But what makes this so hard and why hasn't anyone else done this before? It's because of the sheer data challenge. Every city across North America does their council meeting minutes in different ways, does their budget in different ways, does their capital plan in different ways. Every data that they publish is all different. So there's no standard here. And so that's a part of the challenge that we solved is we've taken all this data, we've analyzed it, and we've developed ways to normalize all that data so we can help our customers surface the right intelligence we're looking for, as well as do apples to apples benchmark and comps that wasn't possible before because this data was so buried in so many different places. And what's also interesting is that cities often take down the data and documents they published over time, but we store in our data warehouse. So we've got this archive that's exists and have been doing this for a few years. So there's trends and insights that we can generate that can't be done anywhere else because there's no other single platform that's aggregated all this data. And just to give you kind of examples of this, so here's a document on King City wastewater treatment plant, one of the documents that was picked up by our system. And these are hundreds of pages long documents, but then oftentimes there's specific paragraphs with high value intelligence for our customers. So part of it's not just aggregating, but also our system is using machine learning to an entity extraction to look at specific types of entities that are referenced in this. So we can store that data and we can generate predictive intelligence and insights for our customers. And also, I think what's also exciting about what we're doing is over the last 15 months, obviously the world, a lot has changed in the world, but a few things are starting to become clear for what's going to happen in the coming years. Trillions of dollars are going to be spent on infrastructure because we're realizing that this infrastructure was built for the wrong century. And it's also getting worse and worse in terms of their challenges because as you've seen from a lot of recent extreme weather events, from floods to power blackouts to wildfires to water quality issues, traffic challenges, that there's so much more stress on our infrastructure and we have to go about making infrastructure decisions in the near future in a much smarter and different way. But also with the pandemic, uh, the way people want to live and work and where they want to live and work has started to change as well. And that's forcing cities to rethink their role and their infrastructure priorities. And as cities and utilities are digitizing more and more of their services, they're generating more and more data than there was ever before. It's not like we're going to live in a world in the coming years where there's going to be less data. There's going to be more and more data. It's going to accelerate. And all that kind of creates this perfect storm for for the need for precise predictive intelligence on infrastructure, which is exciting times for Citylitics. And our ultimate vision is we're collecting all this data. We're going to have all these users actioning this data on our platform. We're going to get to a point where we can predict infrastructure needs before cities themselves realize it. And that's where we can really see how we transform this industry, because that kind of early stage intelligence allows cities to address these problems earlier, as well as the market to connect with cities at much earlier stage. And so this improves ROI for infrastructure in North America initially and eventually globally. So we're thrilled to be able to share our story, what we're doing. Love to connect with you if you're looking for the engineering or data roles and you find this kind of stuff interesting, as well as interested in connecting with professionals in the public sector, because we don't think we fully wrapped our heads around all the different ways that's possible to use our data. So love to talk with others, brainstorm, and explore other ways and ideas of using our data. Thank you very much for having me here.